we find our healing in seeing the truth in those before us, especially for us, while we think we're individuals with these individual lives and individual relationships, the relationships that are closest to us, which are usually the most difficult. But if we release the temptation to make bad and wrong or see things in another that aren't true, but our ego wants to make true, and we instead look for the truth in them, that is how we heal each other and set them free. Because when we are in that accusatory state, blaming another for our pain and suffering, something they did to us or didn't do for us, or some way of being they aren't, or something that happened 2 years ago, whatever, and you're still holding on to it, that itself is an attack, the Course says. That's you doing to them what you think they're doing to you. To hold that against them, that perception, that idea, that belief, it creates pain for us when we do it to another. It just keeps us steeped in our pain, and that is the design of that. But it also brings the other with us. So you are your brother's keeper, and you can either imprison him or her or set them free by what you choose to see in them. And so if you choose to see these negative things and believe these things that they did to you or whatever, you are literally imprisoning them and yourself. And it's done self-righteously. It's done like, you wronged me and you deserve to be punished in some way or whatever. And if you look anywhere you're upset with another person, this is really what's happening. If you go deep, dig in deep enough, you will hear and see the thoughts in your mind, the beliefs you're holding about them. And that is the attack. It's an attack on yourself and it's an attack on them, and it brings both of you into the darkness, imprisons you, locks you in to a persona that isn't true. We're at the mercy of how people interpret us. The space they hold up for us, we tend to spill in. So that is a form of attack or manipulation. And I love this section because it's really speaking directly to it, to pull the veil away and show us what we're doing. Nothing can hurt you unless you give it the power to do so. Just that sentence. If that is true, then all my pain I'm responsible for, no matter what anybody else is doing or not doing. So if I'm hurting, I must want that. Not your husband, not your wife, not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend, not your brother or sister or mother or father or friend or coworker or boss, employee, cousin, none of that. Though they have no power to hurt you. Zero, zilch, nada, none, unless you give them power. In other words, unless you project something on them and blame that, something on them, a thought, an idea, or belief that harms you, project it onto them and believe they're the ones doing that to you. That's how we do it. And what it's recommending is that we instead forgive. Even when it looks like something, whatever, and our egos are making up all this stuff and putting us in pain, we're asking Holy Spirit to show us the truth. So we seek the truth instead of fostering the lie. And that's forgiveness. And that is the answer to this, is to seek the truth instead. Know that there's something else there, because if you're in pain and suffering, it's a lie you're telling yourself. And it's a lie that was there way before that person ever did whatever you think they did. You don't even know what they did. And your memory of it, especially if time has gone by, is totally skewed. It may not have went that way at all. But your mind has to make it be that, because it has to prove what it already believes and has to make somebody else your attacker, somebody else the cause of your pain. And if that were true, there'd be no way out of your pain. The cause is not out there, it's always in here. And when we do that, we're not just harming ourselves, we're harming the other on this level. We're holding them in the prison. So we get to do it differently. As Course students, we don't have that leeway. We know better. This is the thing, as you get this information, it starts to sink in, it gets harder and harder to do this. Because when you're doing it, you know you're doing it.